Nima, Nura, Bora, Kumera, Baloruri, you darling yam, Nangami, Ningina Baila, Ningami Raigo Iora, Wago Diana, Waro Nura, Ingora, Wayamoinia, Bailawa, Gami Raigo Iora, Gumera, Canelo.
Long ago, when all the birds were black, a little bird flew down from the sky and punctured his foot on a splinter. He cried out in pain, and all the other birds came to help him, except the cranky old crow. Painfully, the splinter turned into a colourful blister, which got bigger and bigger, until suddenly a big bird pushed through the others and popped it with his sharp beak. The blister splashed over all the birds, and that's how they got their colour. All except the cranky old crow, who is still black today.
G'day, how's everybody going today? Hello, chicken. I think she was a bit slow. My name is Brendan, that is Apricots, and we'd like to welcome you not only here to Taronga Zoo, but also our QB Free Flight Bird Show. We're here to see some birds, which of course you are. You're in luck, for Australia does have over 800 different types. You've seen in our dreaming story that they do come in a whole array of colours, but there's different shapes, different sizes, and every single one of the birds that you're about to see does have their own incredible ability. That's what I want to share with you, kicking it off on a high note with one of my favourite birds to work. Her name is Dixie, and she is a whistling kite. Now the thing about Dixie is, she is a weapon. Sharp talons and a sharp beak, but sharper than that is Dixie's eyesight. She'll fly around looking for something to eat, and when she spots it, it's very simple. She lines it up and catches it in mid-air. Now when it's warmer, she may land as she's doing at the moment, but she doesn't have to, and this works very well for Dixie. You won't just find one bird. Whoa! Close encounter for you. She'll take off again. You can see it's very easy for her to come down to the ground. She's a scavenging bird, so she will at times choose to do so. But catching that food in the air works out so much better for her. For this bird, found right across the continent, can be found not only hunting by themselves, but in numbers of around 50 in the sky at any one time. There you are. So feeding like that means hopefully with all her friends around, she's going to be able to get not only her own fair share, but maybe just that little bit more. And of course it is her cousin, the black kite, that takes this to even greater extremes. You can see 10, 100 or 1,000 birds all doing this, trying to get that same piece of food. Now of course we mentioned the fact that they're scavengers also. That means we're going to find them around places like tips, fishing ports, abattoirs, anywhere a bird like Dixie thinks she'll find herself a meal. That could be easier to nab. Now she's coming down nice and low for you. What do you reckon, Dixie? Last piece. There you are. Now, she did a good job, but she's a diva. So the final thing we're going to ask of Dixie, most divas like to do it, it's come on out to take her bow. Dixie, a whistling kite. That is an aerial specialist that you're going to find here in Australia. When we're talking about raptors, so hawks, falcons, eagles, they're not as common as our parrots. We've got over 50 types here in Australia, so we get the nickname, the land of parrots. Cockatoos are some of the more recognisable, like the sulphur-crested cockatoo, but it also includes birds like the red-tailed black cockatoo. This lovely lady is Kajandi, very loud. They've also got that movable crest, part of what makes them that special parrot, the cockatoo. This one here, he's the guy, solid black with a solid red tail. His name even means red, that's what Giri stands for. Now we're going to have him fly up to Taronga, fanning that fiery red tail. Giri is doing extremely well here at Taronga, but unfortunately the same can't be said for a lot of his mates, and that includes the Carnaby's cockatoo and forest redtail, both of which are found over in Western Australia. And a big part of the reason they're in strife is because of changes that we make to the land. We chop down trees to make places for our homes. We may knock them down because we think they're unsafe. But with a lack of trees, it means there are less hollows for these birds to raise their young. Now a tree has to get close to 200 years of age for a hollow to form, so less hollows, less red tails. On the flip side though, some of the changes that we make work out very well for parrots. Instead of those trees, there may be extra food and water resources. So for birds like those crazy sulphurs or galahs, corellas, their numbers are booming. But if we want to make sure that that bird up there does have a future to fly into, it doesn't just disappear, it really does come down to our everyday actions. He's done a great job though, and I think he knows it. The birds we've seen so far, whether they be a kite or a cockatoo, generally will look for their food during the day. If I was to ask you though, which bird more than any other hunts at night, you'd say?
Owls.
That's right, it is the owls. 100 points for you. But I tell you what, around 50% of the world's owls hunt during the day, and that surprises a lot of people. In Australia, it is the barking owl that does it more than any other. Owls goes by the name of Herbie. And he too likes to get extremely close to the tops of your heads. My only word of warning for you is if you duck, my bird will only fly lower. It's not going to help you out. The reason they're out during the day is because of what they eat. They are bird hunters. So they'll sit, wait and watch, and when they spot what they want, they will explode into action. Just one tick, guys, if you don't mind. Just one tick. Oh, awkward, awkward. There we go. Yay! Huzzah! Thanks, Karen. They're very fast. They also do have some very large feet. And with feet that big, they can easily take down small birds like starlings and miners. But as well as that, birds are around the same size as themselves. So birds like those parrots we saw earlier could all end up on the dinner plate for this very efficient hunter. Have a look at those large yellow eyes though. They're very big and they take up about 3/4 of the space in Herbie's head. Think about that for one moment. For if we had eyes that big, it would be like having softballs for eyes. And be so jammed in your skull, it really wouldn't leave you much room for anything else. And that's true, for this bird has no eye muscles. The animal cannot move its eyes. It's like someone got super glue and put it around the rim. Instead, it has double the amount of neck bones that you or I have. So we have 7, Herbie has 14, and can turn that head upside down or backwards, nearly 3/4 the way around in any one direction. That allows that bird to spot other birds, but as well as that, pest species like rats and mice. He's done a great job though, so thank you very much, Karen, and thank you, Herbie. I do like having Herbie around though, because I tell you what, we used to have a bit of a problem with rats at the bird show. Rats get into nests, they destroy eggs, cause all kinds of havoc for our native fauna. Luckily for me though, what happened was, those owls moved in, those rats moved out. I know I say a big bit excited, but don't worry about it. Yeah, no problem's behind us now. It's a fantastic thing to be out for a flight. I can even see you're so excited. I love your enthusiasm. A couple of you are even pointing out saying Herbie's #1. I love it. Getting up close to those owls though is probably one of the best parts of my job, and not many people get that opportunity. So I'd like to give a special volunteer today that chance. I'm looking for a volunteer, someone with a camera. Your hand went up straight away in the blue. Did you have a camera? Like even if you've got a phone? That's okay, you can come down and use that. I don't mind at all. When you do have that, make sure you come on down the stage and I'm going to set you up for what we're going to do. Now we've got 8 different types of owl here in Australia. The one that we're about to meet is a relative of the barking owl that was out a moment ago. Now the barking owl hunting during the day, more so crepuscular, dawn and dusk looking for its food. And it gets its name of course because it sounds very much like a dog when it makes its calls. Now tell me, what's your name? Jason. Nice to meet you, Jason. Step over for me, champ. What we're going to do is we're going to have you sit on this stump over here, okay? Yes, just this stump right here. That would be fantastic. Now your job is you're going to take a photo of our owl. She's going to be in that green nest box all the way up the back. Now, a lack of hollows also affects owls. So putting up an artificial nest box in your backyard, great for all kinds of birds. But she's going to be coming down from there. Then Jason, you're going to be taking photos as she flies right at you, but she's going to land right behind you, okay? That's okay, you take your time. She'll just wait in the wings. You ready? That's okay, you take your time. It looks like Dragon's ready for us though, okay? That's okay, we'll just hold off. And she's just going to wait up there. Now, for those of you that can see Dragon, she's up the back there. She's a dark bird in a dark box. If you cannot see her yet, don't worry. Just wait 1 second. She's going to be coming out in a moment. We just want to make sure we don't stand up in her flight path, because otherwise she's going to have a couple of obstacles. Are you right, champ? It looks like you've got the video section going. Yeah? No? No! It's okay, you just take your time. Now, when we are looking at these owls, the one that you're about to meet looks very similar to the barn owl that you would find in the Harry Potter films, so they're quite often recognised in pop culture. Yeah, you're more than welcome to come down and help us out. That doesn't bother me at all. So it's going to look very, very similar to that. Is this your dad? Yeah, you guys can work it out, because I just really want to make sure that you enjoy this and get that photo and that video. There you go. You can even both be here if you'd like. That doesn't bother me. No, just you? Fair enough. He doesn't want to share the experience. I wouldn't want to either. Keep it nice and special. Now, they're found here in Australia and also parts of Papua New Guinea as well. Dragon's doing very good waiting for us today. We're ready? Awesome! And I think the Dragon is definitely ready to join us. So, Dragon, what do you think? She's leaning forward, spreading those wings. Here she comes. Come over here. You're okay. Now hopefully you got a photo then, but while she's nice and still, maybe you want to take another one. Because sometimes they get a little bit blurry when they're coming down. So you can take a photo right now and make sure you get a really good one to take home and remember the moment. I'm sure you got one. Thank you. Round of applause for our help. You did an awesome job. And Dragon, when you're good and ready, you can take yourself off home. Now, those owls, just up there, champ. There you go. It's very busy today. It looks like Dragon's decided she wants to stay on stage as well. Why not? She's a beautiful bird. Now they are darker in colour, so it helps them to camouflage very well while they're out there in the wild, because owls generally ambush hunters. They're going to sneak up on their prey. That's a pretty good thing, because it means you can catch your prey unawares. Hopefully, you're going to have a better chance of catching them. Thank you very much. Those owls are silent and elusive, so we don't get to see them very often, but there are some others that are far more obvious to us. Cute and comical, they are the pink and grey chaps, the galahs. This here is Jasper. For this part of the show, I do need the help from one more volunteer. Someone at the back with a gold coin, and you with the red glasses. I'm going to choose you. You look very happy. The top says it all. If you could hold that coin straight out to your side for me. So just the lady up the back, sorry, so I was pointing to. Sorry about, I know, I'm sorry. You, yes, the one wearing the happy t-shirt. We're going to send Jasper all the way on up. She's going to land. Take your money. Bring her back down to me. Let's go, Jasper. My pockets. So thank you, have a great day. That worked really well. We are a nice duo though, so I'm going to give one more person the opportunity. So lots of hands out there. Smarter note this time, who's got 20 bucks? We've still got people that are keen. I'm going to come right back to you, but for the moment, I am going to make an honest bird out of this glass. So if you wouldn't mind standing up for me, as you are, we're going to give your coin back to Jasper. She'll head all the way on up and put it exactly where she found it. Thank you for that. See you, Jasper. Okay, for those of us with the big bucks out there, don't fret if you felt like you missed out. So at the end of the show, we'll have a few more parrots come and they'll be sitting on this blue box. If you would like, you can pass them a coin or a note. They'll take that money and put it in the box. All the money raised does go towards the zoo's conservation efforts. It's helped with little penguins in the harbour, reforestation here in Australia, and even with birds like vultures overseas. So it's a very cool thing to get involved in. Now, looking at birds like the galah, I'd be very surprised if you hadn't seen one before, if you at least hadn't heard of the bird. The next bird, though, I'd be surprised if you had heard of it. It's a little-known hawk found more so in the inland parts of the country that gets into these, the thick-shelled emu egg. It is called the black-breasted buzzard, and ours goes by the name of Slammer. When she joins us from that away, You'll notice sharp talons and a sharp beak. That is not enough to get inside. Very similar to the kite. She actually needs a tool to help her with this task, and that is a rock. So we'll give that to Slammer. She knows what to do. Up and whack. Now this behaviour, go again. Nice. It's not something we had to teach Slammer. The first time she was given a rock and an egg, she went to town and started offering this. It is just behind you, Slammer, to your right. That's your left, turn around. There you go. Nice. We didn't have to teach her this to her. The first time she hatched out of her egg, she already had that information ingrained. And which works out very well for her, because getting into this is going to be a very big feed. Something like this is equivalent to around a dozen chicken eggs. So a couple of eggs in the morning, that's a big feed for me. But for this bird here, especially, when she doesn't know when her next meal is going to come along, that's definitely going to tide her over. Now, of course, other than emu eggs, they can eat small mammals and reptiles as well. We're starting to get that hole forming. You might have to go back to that rock, Slammer. It looks like you're nearly in. Now, this is all she'd want to do in the wild. She just want to make a small hole and she can start to sip out the yolk. She wouldn't want to waste it. But because it's plaster, we need one more good whack, Slam, and you'll get to the treat inside. Now, it's a comical behaviour, unusual but not unique. But there is one other bird in the world that does something quite similar, and that is the Egyptian vulture, found in parts of Africa and Europe, except it spends its time getting into nearly there, ostrich eggs, flamingo eggs, even the occasional pelican egg. Now you can see she can definitely rely on that beak and those feet as well. But Slammer, today that rock of yours is going to be the best bet to get inside. You just need one more really good whack. We're getting there, and you'll be out. I know, I shouldn't have touched your egg. I was trying to make it easier for you. Very possessive. Now it is the dad emu that incubates the emu egg. Mum lays them, dad incubates them. When he leaves, any that are left over after the chicks are hatched, that's what the black-breasted buzzard is looking for. One bird that you may confuse this with, though, here in Australia is, of course, the wedge-tailed eagle. This is Australia's fourth largest type of hawk. The wedge-tail is Australia's largest type. But if you ever were to see one of these birds flying around, you're getting there, Slammer. How about you get your rock one more time, and I'm going to try and turn it on the side for you. There's just a seam around the side. It'll make it a little bit easier for her to get inside today. But if you see these birds flying around, they've got white feathers underneath their wings. And of course, the wedge-tail has that long, distinct, wedge-shaped tail. Makes them very agile. Now, this is very well set up for you, Slammer. You missed! Yeah, I'll go back to trying to rip it apart with my feet and my beak. Come on, I believe in you. Otherwise... I was going to say I was going to have to help you out. You got in there in the end. You got it, Slammer. One more for good measure. You're the boss. You come up here and you can exit. So that is the scavenging bird you're going to find here in Australia. Depending upon where you go in the world, it's going to be other scavengers. Head over to South America, it will be vultures. Vultures are important culturally as well as environmentally, because culturally they were believed to lift the sun up into the sky every day, or one species was, by the Incan culture. That species was the Andean condor. 3 meters worth of wings, check her out, you will see Canera. Perched nice and high gives them a very good view of the world around them. When they spot what they want, they launch, and coming down to claim their prize. But that's because they do have a large job. These birds will fly for kilometers at a time, hours on end, looking for their food. I say food, but they don't kill it themselves, so it's not prey, but rather they rely on something else to do it for them. When they find it, they'll get to work on that carcass. Now some birds, or some types of vultures, they'll go for the fleshy hide, or they might eat the internal organs. So a bird like this will easily slurp down things like intestines or kidneys. Any muck that gets on her face simply dries flakes it off. It means she doesn't have many health issues herself. So having a bald head definitely works out well for her. and it makes eating the dead a very clean job. Now, bald, of course, is beautiful if you are a vulture, because they undertake that important role in the environment, stopping the spread of disease, and a whole group of birds together, you're not going to win awards for Grace. How about you come back around this way? There you go. He's known as a wake. So they need to work together to make sure that our environment is kept in check. You've done a great job, so how about you take yourself off home? There you go. Gusto and speed. Brilliant out there in nature, but if we know she's doing something, we can take a page out of her book and do something as well. Albeit a little less gross, and it involves our rubbish. Now, if you do see it laying around, we don't want to just leave it there. In fact, Fitzroy is going to show you exactly what we do want to do with it. We want to see it, pick it up, and pop it in the nearest bin. Thanks, Fitzroy. If he can do that, easy. I challenge every single one of you to do the same. Today, 3 pieces of rubbish, please pick it up, pop it in the bin. It's nothing at all, it really isn't, but if we do it together, massive impacts. It will ensure sites like this will continue to fill your skies. I'd like to leave you with one final thought before you know today. That would be no matter where you live, the sea or the bush, please spend a bit of your day looking up, and I guarantee you, that virtue will keep on chugging. Question to you, the nation's there, but otherwise, enjoy Taronga. Catch you next time.
Còn đây nhớ. Công nhận chỗ. Tại vì chỗ này là chỗ